Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the December 28th, 2020 meeting of the Weare Board of Selectmen. We are doing this via Zoom due to the town office building being closed, and we're going to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on the agenda is public comment. If somebody's on Zoom and wants to have a public comment, they're more than welcome. Nobody? There's nobody called in. We have the next item is department head and committee items. And there's nobody here from any department heads or any correspondence. So the next item is going to be the manifest.
Let's go backwards real quick. Committee on Parks and Rec this weekend, or this Christmas Eve, delivered a bunch of baskets of comfort food, if you will, to the seniorites that were unable to have their get-togethers in spring and fall this year. So they used the money out of that budget and bought them soups and things like that, and were delivered on Thursday, courtesy of Parks and Rec.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Good deal.
That was very nice.
Yep. Okay, the next item would be the manifest. To order the treasurer to sign the payroll and accounts payable checks dated December 31st, 2020 to include the following manifests. Payroll manifest for $67,783.34. That's the weekly and monthly payroll. Accounts payable manifest of $27,322.60. The supplemental accounts payable manifest for $151,096. Hillsborough County tax manifest of $1,033,749. The John Stark Regional Payable Manifest is $250,000, and the Weare School District Manifest is for $300,000, for a total of $1,829,950.94. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Hang on.
Anything from?
Sherry, are you all set? She said yes.
Okay. So, okay, we have minutes.
You just got them because Karen reminded me that she sent them, and so I just sent them out. They're like 2 pages, and some of it is just formatting because it's non-public at the end.
Yep.
You can, I don't know if you got them or you want to take
I've got them, so.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. So
Yep. I got them and looked at them. I didn't see anything on them when I went through them. Okay, that would be the minutes for 12/21. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of December 21st, 2020 as written.
Brad, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That was easy. Okay, the next item is discuss year-end expenditures. I know there's one
Okay,
hanging on the,
So I have the year-end forecasted, and I also pulled back up the electronic security protection quote to put the fire alarm, freeze alarm, I'm sorry, for the low temp in the stone building. That was $5,997. So Beth went through all the accounts and forecasted for the next few weeks. We did kind of a worst-case scenario and subtracted a lot of the lines that, for instance, salt, we zeroed that out. You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen. He may pre-order a few loads now. But worst case, after the end of the year, you should have $297,189.51. 297,189.51. That would be your year end. It may be better than that, obviously. We still have some utilities to pay, and
But this is worst-case scenario.
that would be worst case.
Yep.
So you do, you know, if you want to spend the $6,000, we can purchase order it and see when we can put him in to have that done. I'm not sure what their schedule is and how they're doing as far as, you know, with COVID. I mean, if so, I just have to give him a key or,
What company was it again?
it was ESP, and that's who does all of our buildings. They've got the safety complex, the highway department, the town hall, here, there's all the buildings.
Move to approve the quote for ESP to put fire alarm and freeze protection in the Stone Memorial Building with an estimate of $6,000 to come from end-of-year unexpended funds.
Second.
Discussion? How old is that quote?
Oh, a
10/8.
couple months.
Yeah, October 8th.
Okay, so most likely it stays the same.
Most likely it's
I just
older.
wanna make sure
Yeah.
we're actually allowing enough for whatever cost
You want to put
increases.
an up to? I'll change it to an up
Well,
to.
I mean,
Add an
what,
extra 500 just in
Yeah.
case?
Up to not to exceed
He's-
$6,500.
man, he's a vendor anyway, so.
Is that still seconded, or?
Yes, second still stands.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Hang on.
Aye. Yep.
Sherry, you gotta unmute yourself. Bottom left-hand side. There should be a microphone button, and you gotta slash through it so we can't hear you. All I can see is your mouth moving. There you go.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I just, I'm fine with that. I just would like to maybe be there the day they do it, because we've got all new plaster in there, and the other thing is we've got a line, a pipe in the wall behind the plaster, so I don't know if they could use that. I just don't want to have a mess, because we had that all redone, if it's at all possible.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I could definitely come up on a Monday. The two easiest days for me would be a Monday or a Friday.
Well, I think you can probably coordinate that with Naomi and ESP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay. Thank you, Sherry.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Did you vote?
I don't think Sherry voted.
No, did Sherry
Sherry,
vote?
did you
Yes
vote?
or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
We didn't hear you.
Yeah, you were muted.
I was muted.
Yeah.
I'm not now.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Okay, so, on the conservation side, there is a volunteer, they have one position open, and at their last meeting, the gentleman came into the building, now that we're not allowing people. He is a gentleman from River Road. He owns HS&G Erosion Control, has extensive knowledge in erosion control, and he felt that conservation would be a good fit for him. The board questioned him if you want to go in, and he honestly did a really nice job in an interview. And if you want to, I just felt where you weren't inviting anybody in, I didn't want to go and invite him in, and they do have an open spot. They have 6 people now, they can have 7. So there is an opening. It's kind of what he does for a living, is erosion control. He felt he could be some help to them. And so Andy, I do have the email back from Andy with the signature kind of on the computer on the bottom.
is he gonna be an alternate? They didn't
Nope,
check
he's
it
gonna
off.
be a full member,
Oh,
because
they
there's
didn't check it
6.
off, so,
No, he'd be a full member. He knows it's a 3-year term.
yeah. He signed the ethics.
He signed the ethics and,
Yeah,
yep.
Code of
Yep,
ethics.
signed it all.
Yep. Okay. Waiting for your acceptance.
He's trying to get this one.
It's been sitting there. Oh, okay,
You have your seizure off?
yeah,
All set?
yeah,
Move to appoint,
yeah, Ray LeMay,
yeah, move to appoint Ray LeMay to the Conservation Commission for a term of 3 years
second,
as a full member.
yeah, it's a full, second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep,
Yeah,
Thank him
sometime
for
you'll be
that.
able to. And then I just gave you, Sherry, you don't have the benefit of, but I gave you, the, administrator's report, and I know it's light, because we're kind of waiting on the, to try to finish up the warrant, that's really what we're looking to do, but, on 4, under radio communication, I know you missed the Verizon and the Motorola ones, but I don't know if they want to elaborate on everything. Right now, it's my understanding the gentleman from Motorola is gonna get us some coverage maps. We looked at over towards the Sugar Hill area as kind of a needed spot. But I think until we look at the coverage area, then maybe we could find a piece. We talked about the East Ware Station. The East Ware Station is a tiny little parcel. Who abuts them, you know, I don't know what the thought was. I know when the cell towers go in, typically you have to have a fall down, like you're gonna fall down. So it won't work, because of the building.
something on that, so,
They have, because of the building location and to get the height they want, I don't think it would be achievable on top of the building. But again, number 4 says awaiting coverage maps from Motorola, and if I missed something, you guys can chime in, because you guys were there.
I had Jack Dearborn called, and, said that he did the research on the falling of the tower, and it's not a state statute, but there is a recommendation that it may stay on the property or within 100 feet. It's other buildings there in that area, so, but we can be indemnified, or we can indemnify ourselves that we take the responsibility for it without that, so.
Of course we would.
Well, it's our tower, so.
Municipality too.
So, if the selectmen opt to do that when it comes time, but you'll look at the sites which way it could possibly fall. And whatever the height of the tower is, I mean,
Yeah.
it isn't gonna be like it's a 200-foot tower. I
There also may
believe.
be another town-owned piece of property in the area
Right,
that you
close
could
by
do
that we
too.
could
So
use,
until we
so.
see the coverage area that he's specifically trying to, get at, it's tough for us to,
Yeah, they'll know when they get the maps done.
yeah. Yeah.
And it was a very good conversation. It was what, an hour and 45 minutes minimum?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, with Motorola Solutions, our vendor, R&R was on the call. And it was very, very good. A lot of information. And with that study, it comes free. With the study and the propagation maps that we're talking about, also comes with a list of equipment and needed services to put this into motion, with price tags. So,
And we're getting all this information for free from Motorola.
correct. So, you know, this is gonna be a huge step in the communications, department. But again, when I walked away from that Zoom meeting, feeling very good about, the direction that was given in that meeting. And it wasn't just for, police, it was for fire and also DPW.
All 3 of the emergency
All
services.
3 of the, you know, main radio users in the town, were included in that. With, you know, obviously expressed interest in fire and PD because they're more using the portable
More
radios.
frequent users.
But again, it was for all 3 departments, and again, I felt really good at the end of that meeting, about the direction that conversation was headed.
Yeah, it was very informational.
Is there any, I guess I'll just ask the question on that. Moving forward, it sounded like kind of a off-the-cuff ballpark. It's nothing we're gonna do this year.
No. Correct. No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so, I mean, we have to keep it moving. I don't want that to be a
Right.
deterrent, because we kind of led him down the path in a right fashion, because I want the maps and keep moving. I don't want to say, oh, we'll do it next year, and then we're looking at each other in July waiting for something.
Well, in that conversation as well, we also were talking about potential grants that were out there. So I think that that would give us the time to formulate, you know, a grant writing process, et cetera, and put us in the bucket for that, depending on when they're drawn in a year. We may be able to get a better number for next warrant article.
I think it made a lot of sense for us to, I mean, I think we're making some huge strides, but to do it right.
Oh,
than
absolutely, yeah.
Than to put a Band-Aid on and, like
It's a
you
large
said,
sum of
rip it
money.
off.
It's a large sum of money that we discussed.
It's gonna be a large sum of money. no
And,
matter what.
so we wanna make sure it's right the first time when we pull the trigger.
Well, on that same area, the question being is the 29,000 that we've got in the warrant article.
No, we didn't put it on there.
We didn't put it on, so that's not going, as far as from
We-
CIP, that's not going in
No,
the
we,
warrant.
because I think, it was my understanding, the thought was, you know how studies work, and we didn't put
Yeah,
that on the
so I just
warrant.
wanna
No,
make sure
yeah.
It
that
wasn't
that's.
Make sure it's
CIP,
removed.
but
So
that was this
we're
summer.
not gonna spend that money and then
No.
find out the
No,
same.
I think-
Something we get for free.
And my feelings are what Motorola is gonna, Motorola Solutions is gonna supply us is pretty much what we were gonna get with that study.
It sounds like they would write out the bid specs for us, and then we put that out to bid.
Right. Right.
And they also offered, if I heard him correctly, they offered some assistance with grant writing if we
They
needed.
can't. He said
Not-
they can't
They
do it,
can't, but they know people.
but they know
He
people.
knows contacts.
Put us in the right direction.
Put us
He
in-
puts us in the right direction.
Because they can't help do the grant and then bid on it, because it's on.
Right, no,
so-
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But yeah, that would be,
We
at
check
least.
with Homeland Security.
Yeah, but
They've, you know, they wanna do the best, because they got a horse in this race, so they know that the equipment, which probably 80%, 90% of the equipment that we have for communications is Motorola.
oh, it's probably higher than 90.
Yeah, well,
Right, no, I know. But, you know, and even if it wasn't, say, Motorola equipment in the actual shacks, it's still gonna need, you're still gonna need the equipment that they're saying.
The
As far as
the interface with
As
it.
far as the antennas, the interface equipment, et cetera, it's depends on who the vendor is. It's just, you know, we are a Motorola town, and historically we've been a Motorola town, so, no, it was very good.
Did they give any idea of a price?
Oh, yes, they did. But he didn't want to commit to it because is he kind of like the territorial salesman, I'll say?
He's the area rep for Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire.
But there's actually engineers that are working on our town, so he didn't want to put a number out there just yet. But it's substantial. He did say it's substantial,
Yeah.
so.
and a lot of it's, you know, gonna consider the mapping and the antennas or whatever we need.
Oh, yeah, a lot of it's gonna be,
Well, how
a
we
lot
got
of it's gonna be, you know, towers and et cetera. But basically, when they come to us with their, conclusion report, there's gonna be a price tag with equipment on it, so.
Oh, yeah. No matter.
So moving down from there, the annual budget hearing, I don't know if I'll get a response this week to see if we can use the CAF, but what has been going around too is not just the budget hearing, but what our idea of deliberative session may look like. With that being said, a lot of places are using their gyms. So I think if, instead of maybe using the cafeteria, is see if we can use the gymnasium.
I think we talked about that last week, right,
Yes,
trying to get that.
Yeah, yeah.
for February 6th. In the event you have a lot of people, I just, are you going, I guess the decision will have to be made as we get closer. A lot of towns are not doing it remote. They're doing it remote if too many show up and they have to go to another classroom. They set up something, but I don't know how we're gonna be able to do that. That's a lot of our cable committee. And I don't know that we have the drop in
Do that.
the gym. I don't know that we have the drop.
Have to check with Doug.
That's the only thing that I'm thinking of, is you can't have it, because the drop is in the cafeteria.
Well, I know they were doing other stuff for drops, like, to try and do something with the library, Doug said, so I mean.
Right, and I don't know if your overflow goes to the library versus a CAF. I honestly don't know what it's gonna look
We'll
like.
have to talk
A
to
lot of communities have said that due to what's going on, and we are not a community that did anything differently, is it was based on, need not want, so a lot of the articles and extra things were taken away. So to keep the warrant articles short and to the point, which we've done the same thing. This is gonna be one of the least amount of articles we've had
In
in a long time.
Yep.
So I guess we're still gonna have to go along as a moving target and see as we get closer, unless we get some orders from the governor. I know the municipal association is keeping an eye on what they're doing, and that's the one who's supposed to guide us through all these things. They're working with the governor's office on how we can do it.
Okay.
So I guess it's still gonna be a moving target. The email that I got back was I'd have to see what we were gonna be subject to as far as cleanup and in the room and everything else that comes from when you fill out the form and comes from the other,
Right.
like the administration part.
Is there any chatter among the other towns that you're in contact with about what we're doing, or are they kind of looking at each other?
They're all just, the question was thrown out today, so there was a lot that I haven't read them all, but it was thrown out as to what is anybody doing as SB2. I know a lot of them are, I actually spoke to a small, Dunbarton right next to us, and they're gonna move forward with regular town meeting. They're gonna do it in the gym, and they cut their warrant way down, so they don't expect a lot of people, but they're not gonna offer remote either. I think personally, I think the difficult in remote is how do you get questions? How do you get, it's tough enough to watch. What are you gonna watch, a screen of little squares?
You'd almost need a designated person just to watch the screen.
Yeah, so I don't know how we'll do that, or whether you can send them in ahead of time, or I don't know. I think it's gonna be a moving target for the next few weeks.
Well, I think we take it week by meeting by meeting.
Right, and I don't know what we'll be subject to, but I think regardless, I
Whatever.
mean, if it's whatever cleaning, it's cleaning, you know what I mean? I totally get it.
Just see whatever comes out from under the gold dome in Concord.
Yeah,
Well,
I think.
that too.
I mean, I would feel confident in us still pushing forward to get to the gym rather
Yep.
than the
Yeah.
calf, regardless of what comes about from the meetings, just because of the larger territory.
Yeah.
But
Within distance, yeah.
I mean, we'll play it as we go for
Maybe,
the platform.
Right. Maybe we have the big screen TVs we use for the meetings, is to maybe put, if you have the remote part of it, put them on the big screen so somebody can, instead of looking at like this with little blocks, they may be a little bigger.
Yeah, I don't know what that'll look like if there's nothing down there to hook to.
Yeah,
You can't
I
run
guess
all
we
this
have to-
cable down the
I
hallway.
guess we have to find out from
Watches.
Doug. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just order more cables to attach
That's
to
right.
it.
Yeah.
But the longer the
300-foot
run,
cable.
I think.
Slower the connection?
The slower the connection,
Yeah,
right?
you have a lot of line loss.
So we might be there as long, even on a short agenda.
Well, I would try and
We'll keep moving.
push forward the gym.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
no, because you can put a lot of people in the gym.
Like I said, Doug would be able to,
Right, and definitely get
better
the cable
handle.
committee involved and Doug and
Yeah.
see what their opinion is on it, but, just,
yeah, because that was part of the thing when he came in for the extra.
Yeah, but that was to work right there in the.
Yeah, well, and they wanted,
That's where the
he
drop
made
is.
mention of the other thing about going in remote into the library, so.
Well, it's, right, but it live streams to Zoom, live streams to YouTube,
Yeah,
this connection that we're making.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know if it's not in the gym. Well, I guess
Who knows?
we'll
Figure it
we'll
out.
cross that bridge and
yeah, I
we'll do
guess
it.
we'll figure it out.
Warrant articles, I spoke to the one person that had asked about the deadline on top of the other. I do have to ask Laura a question, the gentleman that had come in and met with us in regards to the noise.
Yep.
One of his, he's still short signers, but there's one person that signed. If you remember, we got a petition back this summer from a whole group of them up there, that one of the signers has gone to Florida for the winter. He asked if that signature from that petition could
Still
be
valid.
used on his. I don't know.
Okay.
So I gotta ask Laura that question. That brings him to 20, he's still gotta find 5 more.
So send it to.
So,
sign it,
so
send it
I
out.
think he's getting there, and then the other person, she wasn't sure how she was gonna gather the 25, she wasn't heft on going door to door. So I'm not sure. The deadline is still out there. I just want, those are the only two that I had spoken with. So we'll see if they come in on January 12th. Also, I just want to know, so the town, who's Galaxy 10? Somebody is?
Somebody's cell phone?
Yeah. So, we closed the town office. We tried to give as much notice and put things out there as possible. It's gone well. Today was day one. There was still people banging at the door, even though there is a flashing sign and we put it out. But people have been respecting and calling and making appointments, so that's worked well as well. But I just want everybody to know that we're here this week. We will not be here on Friday. Friday is New Year's, so we won't be here on Friday, so just, I know Christmas is come and gone, but, and then starting next week, we still, I planned out a schedule to go remote for the month of January, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if we're gonna go longer than that. Basically, it covers 5 days still. We've shuffled around, but there's coverage on each floor. And then there's coverage for each, if somebody's not here, somebody else can do it type of a thing. So we've worked that out amongst us. I want to thank the staff for being agreeable to work that out, because some Wednesday nights it requires different. The Wednesday night's still going to be open till 7. It just required someone to shuffle to work until 7 so that no one's left alone. But the staff stepped up, and I just want to thank everybody for doing that. Everybody did, offered, and I didn't have to go saying, tonight's your night. So, other than that as well, and I won't be here tomorrow, and the only thing that we've honestly changed is what you just completed, which is on 7, which is the freeze alarm for tonight.
Yep.
So what I was just handed this evening, we probably should go into non-public, which we can do.
Yep.
Sherry, you'll just have to bear with us and stay on the line, and I have to make a swap after, so, because we have to turn the cameras off, and once we turn the cameras off, all the microphones go. But I have a way of swapping, it works fine.
Okay.
Look at you learning Zoom.
Like a pro.
So that's all I have, and I will, so we are gonna do Zoom for the zoning meeting on the 5th. We'll be here, and Kelly and I will
And the
be
planning
here.
board too.
Planning board's gonna go Zoom, so I guess how we've moved it forward is all the abutters notice is if you wanted to be invited, is I've got, an email, getting prepared with everybody that wants to be on. So if your abutters notices or you notice, so the one thing I would just ask anybody that if you want to be part of an agenda, please e-subscribe. I mean, once it goes on the website, you can e-subscribe to all the agendas, you can e-subscribe to minutes, you can e-subscribe to almost anything, and of what's going on. So if there's a meeting you want to attend, whether curiosity or not, you'll get the agenda, and you can either send me an email requesting the agenda, or you can opt out. Finance committee goes on there, anything goes on there. So everything that hits the website, you would get an e-subscribe notice to and let you know. So I can't stress that enough in these times to try to stay on top of things and to just let me know so we can do the Zoom and you can be invited and join it.
So
It's still gonna-
finance committee is also going remote?
Finance committee will probably go remote. We're pretty much done with them on our level. I know January 6th, they're gonna try to go with the school, so that will be remote. So if anybody wanted to be invited, they're gonna go over all the school stuff and the school warrants, so we don't have a part in it. But I would still administrate it so it can go on YouTube, sure.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I had, would ask that we go into non-public at the end if you're done.
And correspondence or other business?
Other business?
Other business?
We've had our meetings regarding cell phones, and I'd like to move forward with the next step of switching our cell phone carrier to AT&T.
For just one department?
For now, for testing purposes, yes.
And I think that would require bringing them back into the mix.
Yeah,
and
I think we
getting
need to
firmer pricing.
I think-
invite them back in or via Zoom so we can start discussing numbers, pricing, et cetera.
Yeah, actual equipment needed as far as
And
phones,
get to
push
the-
to talk.
and
Only phones for now.
Right.
We're not touching the radio infrastructure due to the no means no. We'll address that in March.
Right.
And the other thing is to make sure when the department heads back, he's the one that should have this final say, and it's his department. for the-
I did talk to him in preliminary. I have I agree with you. He should be involved.
He has to be here to say it in public,
Yep,
so.
but when I did talk to him, it is in the positive, so.
So you're, because they have cell phones now, you're just looking to change the provider, but we have to
Change
firm up some
provider
numbers.
and the phones. The phones, I believe, will have to
So my
change.
first step would get new pricing, because
get-
it's probably gonna be different, because some of the lines are $15 lines,
Yeah.
so.
Some of them are.
So I think we need to gather what phones we have.
What lines we have.
Yep.
Period.
In addition to the laptops that are in each of the cruisers, those have Verizon chips in there. They will need to be swapped out to AT&T, FirstNet specifically. So if we can try to get a list of all the equipment PD has that utilizes a cell phone, hotspots, everything, let's,
Which I think you had that not too long ago.
Yeah, Beth did it for us,
okay.
yeah. And then get some updated pricing.
Yep.
You have to get updated pricing, for
Yep.
sure.
And I guess invite them in via Zoom and,
Monthly, what their monthly
And the chief. and-
charges are gonna be in the chief.
yep.
Would you send that to Lisa? Or Fong?
I'd go with Fong,
Who's the sales rep?
Fong,
I think Fong is.
Long as-
Yeah.
yep.
Good.
And do we want to do that next week, or we want to wait a week and do it the week after?
We have to-
What's our schedule
We're
like?
light next week, so we could do it
Yeah,
next
let's
week.
do it next week.
Okay,
If you wanna do it next week, we can
let's
do
see,
it.
let's see if we can get both of them on board, and if we
See what
can.
their availability is, I guess that's what it
Exactly.
comes down
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
not so
So
much
well
what
said.
we want, what's
So
their
get a hold of
availability.
Fong, see what their availability is for Zoom.
Yep.
And the chief as well?
Yep.
Because the chief will be remote because of travel.
Yep,
Okay. Yeah, we can do
And by
that, because
then-
next week would be, and even the following is still fairly light. The next one we'd have to, I might ask you to, because after that, we might have to have a special meeting just to tie together the warrant articles. Or actually, we could, I'm gonna backpedal here. January 11th, we could put together our final warrant articles, because I can't stop a petition, which is the next day, and I have to have a ballot or a warrant ready for your public hearing.
Right.
So if the 11th we finalize the warrant, the 12th is petition, so I would add those to the warrant, and that would be your warrant for the public hearing on the 18th.
Okay.
Is that
Okay.
right?
Speaking of warrants and budgets, do you have a feeling, or have you heard anything regarding what Finance Committee is thinking? Have we heard,
Nope, because they were waiting for the whole package,
okay,
and I'll know a little bit more after January 6th.
okay.
Okay.
I'm
Which
curious
we can
what
tie
their
into the
initial
11th.
feeling was.
What's my what?
I'm just curious what their feelings were so far.
It seems to be supportive from what I can see. They've been a mixture of home and here. There's been some good questions, but it to me appears that it's supportive. I guess I didn't take away much negativity. If you're thinking, we did go in with the want versus need.
Yep,
And our budget's only 2.05%, so.
I heard school was going up quite a bit though. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
true
see, I'm
or
gonna
not.
listen to that, I haven't, I know their healthcare was up quite a bit more than ours was. Yeah, I'm not sure because where the reduction, and then it's gotta go back the other way.
Yep,
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure until January 6th, but I walked away very favored. Beth and I presented that night. Beth does a great job with the budget, as you know. Handed them everything they wanted to, and they thanked her.
was there any
She did-
pushback on anything in particular, or is everything?
No, not really. The fire department, there always is some discussion with, the 2 full-timers and the reduction on the other side. It was just a few people asked questions about that. Most everybody, was supposed to digest all the paperwork and let us know, and nobody's reached back out to either one of us. She did the pie chart, she did the whole thing for everything.
Okay.
So, we gave them everything
Piece
they
of
wanted,
information, yeah.
you know. and did it in a pie chart, so if you're a visual person.
Yep.
She also did, what they liked about it is you guys looked at 32 pages of detail. She did a summary sheet, and took the department and did it just, and then you could always go to your 32 pages and see what made up the increase or decrease. She made the notes to the right. So I think we went in and left there, I think, favorable, but again, they're just looking at the whole package due to the whole situation that's going on now, so we'll see where we go.
And the last thing I have, the whole radio communications number 4.
Yes,
I know we have it in our article packet. I don't remember us taking it out. I just want to confirm that we are going to be taking out the radio communication article.
I think Jack just asked that.
Yeah.
We said yes.
That was never.
Okay, I just
we
want to
never
make sure,
even-
okay,
It's not going in there, so,
Yeah.
okay, good.
I thought I had removed it, I apologize.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still working on the old version, so.
yeah.
I don't
Okay,
have it
Possibly
revised.
did, yeah.
yep.
Okay, anything else under correspondence or other business?
Sherry, do you have anything?
No, not a thing.
Okay,
Okay, nothing else, then I'll make a motion that we go into a non-public under RSA 91A, Roman numeral 2, 3, A and C.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, yes.